And the reality is we have a 14-year-old who has never been charged, who has never been arrested, who is they're currently being charged with murder. That is not a reflection of anything other than this individual's choices and the fact that it is way too easy for people in this community who are young to have access to firearms. And when we have a conversation about the problems that this case presents, we need to be serious and honest about what the problem is. And the problem is that too many kids have access to guns in our community. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chief.
Breaking news here at noon. That is Marion County's prosecutor, Ryan Mears, giving an update on that devastating shooting happening in the downtown parking garage last week. The prosecutor is now filing formal charges against a 14-year-old in what he says was an armed carjacking. 23-year-old Brett Scrotum was killed in that shooting, in that carjacking. Now the 14-year-old suspect faces charges of murder, felony murder, attempted robbery resulting in serious bodily injury, and dangerous possession of a firearm. Right now, the case is in juvenile court, but is expected to be waived to adult court if a judge decides the teen should be charged as an adult. Our Ashton Hackman is following these developments and will have the latest on 13 News at 4. Also, another case we're following, a 21-year-old woman is under arrest in connection with a deadly triple shooting in downtown Indy. 32-year-old Gregory Montrez Anderson was killed in that shooting. Another man and woman were also hurt. This happened around 3:15 in the morning on May 24th along South Meridian Street near West Maryland Street. Metro Police telesurveillance video and witnesses pointed them in the direction of the 21-year-old woman. She now faces a preliminary murder charge. We'll continue to follow those two big cases. We'll get reaction from the community as well coming up in our later newscast, so stay tuned for that. Right now, we're going to turn to the forecast. We've got meteorologist Rob Ellis. I'm Felicia Lawrence. Thanks for joining us. And we are actually looking at a sunny Friday, and now we're going to get to rain over the weekend.
Yeah, this is the transition time. This is when we go from that wonderful forecast pattern that we've been in to a little bit of change, some shower chances returning to the forecast. Let me show you where we are right now. Right now, we're in the thick of that very nice pattern where we do have sunshine. That's going to continue. One of the things you're going to notice today is the clouds on the increase. It's also a bit on the breezy side. Winds have been gusting at times over 25, almost 30 miles per hour. It's helped to warm us up. It's also helping to increase the humidity a little bit. So you'll notice that a bit today. In the short term, the winds, the breeze are actually making it feel quite comfortable. Temperatures are continuing to warm up. We're into the upper 70s currently. You do see that, especially when you look at satellite and radar, the changes starting to happen. And there are some light showers that are starting to pop up to the west. Most of this is not reaching the ground, but some of those areas where the returns are a little bit stronger are likely reaching the ground. And this huge area of rain has weakened as it's moved east. We expected that to happen, but we do think that it could lead to an isolated shower once we get into the late afternoon or maybe even into the evening, especially to the north. Temperatures going into the 80s today because of those strong southwest winds. We'll do 85 for today. Tonight, we see the possibility of some showers and storms. I'm going to walk you through future track. If you have weekend plans, I want you to stay tuned because we do expect to see showers and storms for the foreseeable future. I'll show you when coming up.
Rob, thanks so much. And on to more headlines. We are learning new details from a plea deal for the director of a Brownsburg daycare center. Jennifer Lingbeck will plead guilty to 1 count of neglect of a dependent and 1 count of failure to make a report. Lingbeck originally faced 5 other charges. Now, those will be dismissed. She faces a maximum of 3 years in prison. Lingbeck's change of plea hearing is July 20th. Now, she used to work at Main Street University for Kids in Brownsburg, a daycare center. Well, last year, the state ordered the center to shut down after a former employee was charged with child molestation and exploitation. Also, a 12-year-old boy's father and 14-year-old have been arrested after the boy was shot in the leg. This happened near Hannah and Keystone Avenue Wednesday. Court documents say the boy says his 9-year-old brother shot him. Police say during a phone call, they heard the boy's father say he told a 14-year-old boy in the house to get rid of the gun a week ago. Officers say the father came down the stairs and started yelling at the 14-year-old. Both were arrested. Charges have not yet been filed. And right now, an Anderson man is facing up to 65 years in prison. This is for his role in the death of a teenager. 20-year-old Donovan Harris was convicted of felony murder and other charges. Court records say Harris was with 15-year-old Julian Craig while trying to rob someone outside their home in November of 23. Well, that robbery victim fatally shot Craig in the chest. The court ruled Harris should be responsible for the death since he was involved in the crime. He'll be sentenced next month. A proclamation from Governor Mike Braun is getting pushback from the LGBTQ+ community. So June, it's widely recognized as Pride Month. But Tuesday, the governor declared June as Nuclear Family Month instead. The proclamation describes the nuclear family as one husband, one wife, and their children. Belinda Drake, who is part of the LGBTQ community, responds to this proclamation.
That proclamation simply just caused unnecessary division.
Governor Mike Braun was asked what message this proclamation sends to non-traditional families.
This isn't about any other statement other than the nuclear family is important. You're going to have others that might say otherwise, but that's not the case.
Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith praised the proclamation on social media, posting the phrase, "Take back the rainbow." Turning now to a possible property tax hike in Marion County. Some say a higher bill for homeowners is the going price for public education. Alex Almanza breaks down the main points from the Indianapolis Public Education Corporation meeting.
Taxpayers in Marion County are discussing the next chapter of public and charter schools. Thursday's IPEC meeting at Arsenal Tech's library is helping turn the page on what shared funding looks like for the two. This is IPS faces a $40 million cash deficit following last year's property tax relief.
There is a balance. People are facing real economic hardship right now.
David Harris serves as chair of IPEC. He says the decision to ask people for property tax increases when the state just reduced them last year is being done with sensitivity.
Where's that sweet spot between making sure we have the resources that our kids need and that we're not overburdening the taxpayer?
One option keeps the current rate at 19 cents per $100 of assessed home value. Another could push it as high as 55 cents. For a $200,000 home, that's roughly $169 to $475 a year. Monica Shellhammer is a teacher at IPS who spoke at Thursday's meeting.
We know that we need the money to be able to do what we do within IPS.
She says with less money coming in, everyone could be affected in some way.
I don't think if you would have asked us a couple of years ago that this was the way we were going to be doing it, we would have told you that's crazy and that's not how it works, right? So it's been on our minds.
IPEC is a first of its kind group in the country, formed by the State House earlier this year. While their goal is to approve the question that will go on the November ballot, it's ultimately down to what voters think. And with just months to go, the clock is ticking. In Indianapolis, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
Happening now, the Indiana Comic Convention registration is going on right now over at the Indiana Convention Center. This is ahead of the vendor floor opening at 12:45. Downtown Indy is about to transform into a universe of superheroes, sci-fi legends, cosplay creations, and some celebs. Among the celebrity guests for this year's event, Nicolas Cage and Gene Simmons, two big names. Now it runs through Sunday, so you have plenty of time to head out for some fun. And today our crews got the chance to head over to the Children's Museum. This is actress Jennifer Lewis. She explored Tiana's Joyful Celebration. This is a brand new exhibit at the Children's Museum, bringing Disney's film The Princess and the Frog to life. Lewis plays Mama Odie in the movie and reprises her role during today's visit. She says it makes her feel like a kid all over again, and she's excited for the job it will bring to visitors.
Magic, history, it's interactive for the kids. You walk in here, you're in a whole nother world. You're in New Orleans. You know, the culture, the music, the excitement, the food. It's all here for the kids to learn. And that's what we want them to do.
Yeah, and I was supposed to say the joy it's going to bring to visitors, not the job, not the work. They're having fun and playing, and classic Jennifer Lewis there. You can head over to the Children's Museum right now to check out Tiana's Joyful Celebration.